the door, baby. Right here. For you, if you can't hang. You can do whatever. So Halloween's coming up, and when people think of Halloween, they generally think of horror. And when I was little, I watched a horror movie with my dad, and I was maybe like 6 or 7 years old. And I used to get terrified of horror movies, and I would like start crying and couldn't sleep by myself. And so I went in my dad's room and stood at the foot of his bed until he like opened his eyes, and then I was like, "Daddy, I'm scared." And he screamed and chucked a pillow at my face, and I started crying. It was a devastating moment at the time, but I don't even remember it, honestly. He told me this, but now it's pretty fucking hilarious when I look back on that memory fondly. Like, last night, I believe, I had a dream about the new movie Straight Outta Compton. And if you don't know about that movie, it's about like these rappers, these big rappers like Dr. Dre and Eazy-E and Jay-Z and stuff, and how they grew up in the ghetto and how they came from the ghetto to being famous. And so I had a dream that I went to the movie theaters and I was gonna see that movie, but instead it was just the Rugrats in black leather jackets and beanies. And I remember I was sitting there and I was like, I have been lied to. This is not what the trailers and the posters portrayed. Dr. Dre is not in this. I am so disappointed. And I remember also, I think last night I had a dream, and it was about this woman with a little child boy, and she started dating this dude who was completely against anything paranormal or anything to do with contacting the paranormal, and this lady was into that stuff, and she used her son as like the voice vessel for the spirits, you know, to talk through and stuff. And the boyfriend knew about this, and I don't understand why he didn't leave if he's so against it. And then like he walks into her house one day and she's just like chilling on her bed, and her son is on like a beanbag chair, I think, right next to the bed, just laying there with like foam coming out of his mouth. One eye was like a cat eye. It was just a black slit and then everything was white around it. And then the other eye was just like, you know, when you like, and like then I woke up after seeing the boy and I was like, what the friggin'.
Good job. I know. Alright. So my story goes way back. It's kind of gross, you know.
That's
embarrassing story. So it was when I was in first grade, right?
Mm-hmm.
A little midget. And so I had to go to the bathroom and all.
Mm-hmm.
So I asked my teacher if I could go to the bathroom. Next thing you know, my teacher says yes, but hurry up. And so I thought she was being really serious. I'm like,
yeah, you better come back to this f***ing classroom.
and so I'm like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna take a really long time, so I just stayed in the classroom. And yeah, you guys can figure out what happened from there.
I went to this preschool in a different town that I currently live in, and we always would like watch movies at a certain time during the day. And I remember they were setting up for the movie and stuff, and they were like putting all the cots, like they had all the cots in a corner that we would take naps on. You could totally see my leg. And I was always like shy about like getting up and going to the bathroom, because I was like,
oh no, people are gonna like see me doing something. Like I just want to sit here and be alone and not bring attention to myself in any way possible.
so what I did was I was sitting on the cots, because like everyone loves sitting on the cots for some reason. And I was like, I'm not getting up from this spot. Like I really have to pee, but I am not getting up. And then they were setting up for the movie, and I peed myself. They're gonna think of me as the kid who peed herself. And so I sat there on those cots with my pants wet and the cot wet below me for the entire movie and like the rest of the day, and then I waited until everyone else left before I got up.
That's so nasty.
I know. When I was in preschool.
No excuses. How dare you?
Sorry.
Okay. That was a gross kid. I'm right there with you. Me and my brother used to live on this street. People used to call it Crack Street, right?
Yeah.
And so
I remember that street.
so we had an apartment on there, and it was a dump and everything. And so I was sitting in the living room, chilling, being myself. Next, you know, my brother comes in. He being an asshole. He's like, "Jenny, you want some sushi?" And I'm like, "I'm good." And he was like, "Sure, it's really good." And so I tried it. So nasty. Excuse my French. It was mold.
Ew. Gave you mold?
I was really young too, so I didn't know any better. Ever since then, for a really long time, never eaten sushi.
I love sushi. My mom was dating this dude, and he used to work at like an auto body shop in like Yuba City. We went to visit him, me and my mom, and they were like hanging out and stuff, and I was sitting in the car waiting to leave, and I had my toy that I would like carry around with me all the time with me, and it was like a little tiger Beanie Baby, and I had a little bag of Doritos that wasn't open, and I was like,
oh God, I really want some Doritos. This is taking so long, I just want to go home. Tiggy, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go ask my mom if I can have some of these Doritos to pass the time.
and so we got out of the car, and I went up to my mom and I was like,
Hey, can I have some of these Doritos?
and she was like, yeah, sure. So I went back to the car, and the doors were locked, and the keys were inside, and so was Tidy, my toy. And I started crying so hard, and I was like,
No, Tiggy! She's locked in there!
and I went up to my mom, and she was like, what's wrong? And I was like,
The doors are locked to the car, I can't get in, and Tiggy's in there, and she's all alone, like she's lonely, like she misses me, and she's gonna feel abandoned, like we need to get her out right now.
and my mom was so angry. And it is officially fall here in California. Let me just show you this. This is a part of my backyard, and it is literally covered in leaves. And it's gonna be Halloween soon, and I don't know if I'm gonna dress up this year actually. Like, I've always been really into dressing up and have wanted to dress up like every single year. But this year I don't know. I'm not excited for the cold though. I'm not excited for the rain. Like, I know it's gonna be good because California is usually in a drought, and there have been a couple of fires in my town recently, which sucks ass. But like, I literally hate being cold to the core because I will start shaking so hard that it makes my entire body hurt, and like I can't stop shaking because it's so fucking cold. And also, like, I don't know if this has anything to do with it, like why I can't stand the cold so much, but like, I've told you guys about when I was little, I used to wear sweaters and long sleeve shirts every single day year round, no matter how hot it was. I would have long sleeves on because I was embarrassed and picked on for my arm hair. Well, I don't know if that might have an effect on why I hate cold now. I had my lip rings for a very long time, and I felt like they were kind of a piece of me, you know? Like, they're in basically almost all of my videos on this channel, and suddenly they kind of just disappeared, and I don't think I ever explained why. Well, I decided to take my lip rings out, not because I didn't like them anymore. I still really love snake bites, and I wish I still had them, but they were literally making my gums and teeth hurt so much, and they were just bothering me so much for so long, and I just couldn't handle it anymore. But I still miss them like crazy. Like, I regret all the time taking them out, but then I remember, like, they were a pain in the ass a little bit.
What's up, bitch?
Not much.
Badass gangsta.
I know, I'm a G.
You're the real G.
Oh yeah, the real G.
So it's been a few weeks since I went to Arcata to visit Jennifer. That's where I was when you guys saw those ocean clips. Yeah, Arcata's in Humboldt County in California. It's really pretty there. It's like right next to the mountains, right next to the ocean, and in a really wooded area, so it's very beautiful. With my luck, something bad always has to happen. When I was driving back home, I ran out of gas on the side of the highway. There was literally not a gas station for the past like 2 hours. I thought I would be good when I passed the last gas station because I had like half a tank of gas, so I was like, this will last me until the next gas station. But there was none for like 2 more hours and I ran out. So I ran out of gas outside of a fire station. I went and knocked on all of the doors because they had a gas pump outside, but it was locked, so I wanted to see if maybe they would let me use it, but literally nobody was there. I'd knocked on literally every single door in the building and nobody was there. So then I had a small breakdown because I didn't know what the fuck to do. I had nobody with me. I was all by myself. There was nobody at the fire station, and the only people near me were construction workers. So what I decided to do was walk up the road a little while and see if I could see any close by buildings and maybe see if anyone would give me a ride to the nearest gas station, but literally nobody would pull over for me, which I'm kind of glad about because every person that I saw drive past me was some guy by himself, so I don't want to get abducted. So I walked back because it was like literally like 100 degrees outside, and my car has no air conditioning, so I was already in it for this whole time, which sucked. And so I went back to my car, sat down for a little bit, and I decided to go ask the construction workers if they had a cell phone with reception that I could use, because my phone had literally no reception. I couldn't even call 911 for some weird reason. Usually when you don't have service you can still call 911, but my phone wouldn't let me. So I went and asked them. They didn't. They tried radioing someone, like highway patrol, a different place, to see if anyone could help me. Nobody could hear them over the radio for some reason. There was like a really bad connection. And they said that their trucks only run on diesel, so they couldn't help me with gas either. But then after like half an hour of me sitting with these guys, this one construction worker walks over with a gas can, fills up my tank like 1/8 of the tank, which is not very much at all. And he said, this will last you until you make it to the next gas station. Just follow this road all the way down and you'll see the gas station. And this wouldn't have been so bad if I didn't have to be at work in like 3 hours from the time I was there. It also sucked because the drive back to where I live from Arcata is literally 6 hours. I got up at like 6 that morning and didn't arrive back in town where I live until about 3 o'clock.